David Lovejoy with KGNC News Radio. I'm joined today by Mr. Brian Moore. He is running in the March 3rd primary in Potter County for Potter County Commissioner, Precinct 3. Welcome today, Mr. Moore.
Thanks for having me, David.
Now, first off, let's let the people know a little bit about you. Tell us something about you, Brian. Tell us where you're from and what you do here now in Amarillo.
Sure, you bet. Thanks for having me again. I am from Monahans, down in the Permian Basin, so an oil patch kid. I grew up there, and in the early 90s decided, hey, I'm going to go to school. First person in my family to go off to college and finish up. Came up to WT. So came to WT to play football. Realized I was a little undersized to be a college linebacker.
Yeah.
So enjoyed my time here, and then focused on school instead of sports towards the end. Got involved with the student government at WT. Was a student senator for 3 times and finished up as president pro tem of the student body there at WT. So enjoyed that time there. Came out, got in the workforce, met a Amarillo High girl, and I've been here ever since. So married her and spent a lot of time in the finance world. So I've worked for Green Tree, Norwest, and Amarillo National Bank. I was an assistant vice president and loan officer for them for years. And then once I left that career, started my own state farm agency. So I've been in the insurance risk management world for about 19 years here in the Amarillo area, out at 34th and Coulter's where I'm at now.
Now, that's an interesting background and bringing these tools to this position you're running for. You have a strong background in finance. You're a business owner, so you've made and met payrolls. You did those sort of things. And you've been, from your college days, some government work. What are you going to do, or what would you like to do in Potter County as a commissioner?
Well, Potter County is a huge county. It's over 110,000 people, and the way the commission works. So a lot of people don't quite understand what this position even entails. But what it is a 4-man body. The county's divided into 4 precincts. Every precinct has a representative. We call that a commissioner. So you're supposed to represent your area. I'm Precinct 3, which is those outlying areas. You're talking River Road. In the north, to the east, you're talking Highland Park, and to the west, you're talking Bushland. So that rainbow of Potter County, so to speak. And you're supposed to advocate and represent that part of the precinct, as well as the entire county in general when you do voting. So it's more of a checks and balances on the county. We look at budgets, we look at spending, we look at payrolls, we look at salaries, hiring, firing, all those sort of things happen at the commissioner level. So it's a lot like a board of directors or a school board type position. It's not necessarily that you've been working for the county for so long. It's that you can bring your expertise to bear on county issues and do the best for residents, because you are one of the residents. So you have to live in the precinct you run for. So that's a unique thing in Texas, and that's what makes it kind of nice. So some of the things we hope to achieve is just getting in there and making some change. So the county's done a fine job, or the commissioner's course done a fine job here in the recent past. We want to continue to ebb and flow with that and get some fresh blood in there. So it's an open seat we're running for. So there's 4 people running for the seat I'm looking at, Precinct 3. So I want to be the only business owner on the court that comes in. And again, with that outside perspective, maybe a different look at things, maybe a different way to solve problems than maybe a government employee would have in their kit of tools. We want to kind of bring a different perspective to that going forward.
Now, Bushland, River Road, Highland Park, the Barrio, North Heights, all these areas of Potter County, they all address different problems, different issues. Let's look at Bushland, River Road, and Highland Park, the areas that you're running for. Have you seen a need or a shortcoming in those areas that you'd like to address?
Yeah, so this is a general adage, but money solves a lot of problems. So what we have to do is raise more money through taxes, and the way to do that is a couple things. We can get more people to pay taxes. To do that, we've got to get people to move to Potter County. So we want to have a dynamic and a growing community base in Potter County. So whereas some of your inner Amarillo's landlocked, a lot of those houses turn into rental houses. We want investors to continue to keep those houses maintained, get some good renters in there, and keep those tax dollars flowing in. As far as those outlying areas you referred to, we want to encourage business developers, commercial developers to come in there, residential developers is what I should have said, and make new neighborhoods, right? There's lots of land out in River Road, lots of land in the Highland Park market, and lots of land in the the Bushland market. So getting more and more residents to move out there is key to getting the tax base to grow. So if you think about Potter County for a second, for every new house built in Potter County, there's probably 5 or 6 built in Randall County. Well, they get more of those tax dollars flowing into them. So with new residential developments, that's one thing. The other thing would be a commercial development. So we have one of the biggest things that takes money from us is having to deal with I-40. It lays in the Potter County side of Amarillo, and the downtown and the homeless issues and all those things kind of do an undue burden on the Potter County taxpayer versus the Randall County taxpayer. Well, let's use I-40 to our advantage. Let's get more and more business in here that need to use I-40. Let's use that Eastern Business Park out there where Coke and Benny Keith and the airport, the air park and all those. And then we got a new Point West on the west side of town. Continue to get some tenants in there. And even all those I-40 corridor areas. So we get more trucking companies here, more companies that employ more local folks and in turn pay more and more taxes to help defray the taxes we as current residents have to continue to increase and pay for those.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of the objectives we'd like to do. And I feel like what I can do is I'm active in the business world every single day versus being a retiree doing these jobs is I'm talking to business owners each and every day. So I want to be out there active. I'm running my own business. And in the midst of that, I can still advocate for the county, go out, make some sales calls, go see some of these businesses and go, hey, we'd like to have a campus for you. I realize you're in Oklahoma City. Can we do a satellite office in the Amarillo market? We've got these properties. We've got these things we want to bring to bear. So just advocating for the county over and over and over in our weekly work will help to grow and spread out that tax base for sure.
Right. And that's right. It's about the dollar bills. And
it is.
It matters where it comes from. One of the big issues that's been going on in Potter County is the new Justice Center. They issued
District's courts building.
Just certificates of obligation were issued for them to pay for it.
Uh-huh.
Would you have rather had the public vote on that?
Yeah, I mean, do we need a district's courts building? I think overwhelmingly yes. That's probably what needs to be done to move forward. The way we did it at this point in the county was we issued what you just referenced, certificates of obligation, which is basically a bond for the county. So we as residents in the county pay back that bond. Typically in days past, we would bring that to the voters and let the voters say yes or no to that sort of proposition. I wish we still would have done that. A couple things it makes you do. As a county, it makes you really make your case. It makes you justify what you're asking for in a really strong and prolific way. And it feels better than kind of backdooring it through that 5-man vote. And next thing you know, bam, here we are, $50 million certificate of obligations floating out there. So do we need it? Yes. I would like to have seen it go to the vote just because it makes us, and I know we had some city council or some county councils and some citizen councils come to bear on that, but it'd have been nice to really make that strong case so that all the voters were tied into it. I think they would have approved it because I think they could see the need. But now you've got to keep justifying that and explain that over and over because most people were in the dark on that that agreement. So
Now, Mr. Moore, it's the day after the election.
Mm-hmm.
You are now the Potter County Commissioner for Precinct 3. What do you want to hit the ground running doing in that seat?
I think really just taking apart some of these budgets. Again, when you're in the forest, it's hard to see the trees. So I think getting in there and double checking departments, making sure that the staffing allocations are right, that the funding's correct, and then getting back in those revenue streams. The main revenue stream's taxes. Well, is there another way to revenue stream? Do we have some land we can lease? Is there some things we can do to, hey, let's donate that land or lease that land to a commercial entity, and let's see if we can get some commercial dollars flowing in on that on the tax side or the fee side. So a lot of those immediately, I think, are some ways we can hit the ground running and bring in more money to the coffers, again, to solve those problems, right? North Heights, Hamlet, East Side, all those areas, there's always plenty to do.
Right.
We just need more dollars to do them with. And we want to be judicious with those dollars so that we don't waste those and don't frivolously spend those. If $9 are worth, let's not spend 10. That sort of mentality moving forward there. So as the court changes over time its makeup, it's good to have some different folks in there with a different perspective. And so that 5-man body, the 4 commissioners along with the county judge, can make good decisions for our group, our county, and fund things the most appropriately and efficient and effective way we can.
That's it, efficiency.
You bet.
One last thing, Mr. Moore. Tell the people why you're the man for this job.
Well, I feel like I'm pretty qualified. Again, been a business owner for 20 plus years, managed, right now I've got 40 or 50 employees through some other businesses I own, so I'm used to managing plenty of employees, but again, I think the key is all the guys I'm running against are great guys, but I bring that outside perspective, that business owner's perspective, that there's nothing quite like the feeling of having to make a payroll, having to look in your own account to do those sort of things, and understanding, hey, we don't just keep doing the same things we've always been doing because we've always been doing that. Maybe it's time for some of that. And I want to bring that again, that outside perspective. Again, there's a 5-man body. I'll be the only business owner in that entourage of 5, and a little bit. I say a little bit younger. I'm in my 40s, but I'm going to be here for 20 years as a business owner and probably 40 or 50 as a resident. So I'm making decisions that affect me personally. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for a long, long time, and I think that's key. I think when you catch somebody who may be in the retirement era, they just don't think the same way maybe as we do as taxpayers and business owners. So bringing that different perspective, I think, will be huge, and that's why I feel like I'm, asking for everybody's vote.
There you go. Mr. Brian Moore, running for Potter County Commissioner's Court, Precinct 3. Now, don't forget, early voting is going on right now. You can even vote on Saturdays.
That's correct. Saturday.
Potter County, the Santa Fe building will be open on Saturdays. The Randall County Annex on Western Street will be open. Mm-hmm. Early voting ends on the 28th.
Friday the 28th.
Friday the 28th, and then Super Tuesday will be here before you know it.
15 states voting on Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
Texas and California, so there'll be lots of important decisions to be made at the local level and state level.
Yeah.
House seat 13 is a big deal for us.
It's going to be a big one.
Please get out and vote.
Yeah, that's it, and that's the key. I've said this a million times. As a veteran, I don't care who you vote for. I fought for your right to vote. So use your right. Do your research to it. Informed voter is a better voter. And once again, Mr. Brian Moore, thank you for your time today, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.